Hello and welcome to the Absolute Beginner Guitar Lesson Series. My name is Oliver. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be using just the first three strings of the guitar, and that is the E string, the B string, and the G string. So we're going to be using these three strings of the guitar, and all of our root notes to these chords will be found on the G string. We're going to start with A minor, just because I want to sort of work our way up the neck. So the first thing I need to do is I need to find the root note. And I can find the root note to the chord at the second fret of the G string. And once I find the root note A, I just need to apply our minor chord fingering. And we have the A minor chord. Now in terms of numbers for the key of C, this is the sixth chord. For those who aren't familiar with numbers, if you number the notes of the C major scale, A is number 6, and the chord associated with number 6 is minor. So our first chord is A minor. Okay, so I'm going to skip over the B diminished chord, and that brings us to C major. And of course C is the first note of the scale, so this is the chord that I like to refer to as the 1 chord. We need to find our root note, and we can find that at the 5th fret on the G string. So we have the C root note, and our chord is major. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply our major chord fingering, and now we have C major. The next chord is going to be D minor. So to get to D, we just need to move up a whole step or 2 frets. So I'm going to move my root note up from the 5th fret up to the 7th fret, and I have the D note. And from here I'm going to apply my minor chord fingering. And now I have D minor, which is also known as the 2 chord when we're in the key of C major. So moving on, the next chord is E minor. So we're already in a minor chord fingering. So really all we need to do is sort of slide this up the neck until our ring finger finds the root note E at the 9th fret on the G string. And we have E minor. Moving on, the next chord is F major, and that's the 4 chord. So we're at E minor with our root note on the 9th fret of the G string. We want to move up to our root note at the 10th fret of the G string. That's the F. But because the chord is major, we're going to apply our major chord fingering. And now we have F major. So moving along, our next chord is G major. So we're at F major with our root note at the 10th fret on the G string. So we just need to move up a whole step. So we're going to move our root note from this F at the 10th fret up to the G at the 12th fret. And our chord is major, so now we're going to apply our major chord fingering, and we have G major, which is the 5 chord. That's the fundamental information of the lesson. We essentially played through the sequence of the scale tone chords. Now it may seem a little unusual to you because we didn't start on the C major chord, but we don't always have to start on the 1 chord for a song. So it's important to understand that we need to be able to find any of these chords at any time. So it's beneficial to work with the chords in different ways, in different orders, if you will. So we don't get used to playing them in one specific way, and then when we have to do it another way, it becomes foreign to us. What I'd also like to do is I'd like to take a look at these scale tone chords, starting with the 1 chord, the C major chord. So now we have the challenge that we need to be able to locate our C root note. And I can locate that at the 5th fret on the G string. And our 1 chord is C major. So now I apply my major chord fingering, and we have C And we're just going to run kind of through these chords from here. Not taking too much time. The next chord is going to be D minor. We're at C major. We just need to move our root note up 2 frets, 1 whole step up to the note D. And our chord is minor, so we apply our minor chord fingering. And now we have the D minor chord. Our next chord is E minor, or the 3 chord. So we're going to slide that up to the 9th fret to get to the E root note. And our chord is minor, so we're going to apply our minor chord fingering. So now we have E minor, also known as the 3 chord. Our next chord is F major, which is the 4 chord. So now we need to move up to F. We only need to move up a half step, which is 1 fret. So now our root note F is at the 10th fret on the G string. And our chord is major, so we're going to apply our major chord fingering. And now we have the F major, which is the 4 chord. Moving on, our next chord is G major. We need to go to G, so we need to move our root note up a whole step from F to G. So we're going to move this up from the 10th fret to the 12th fret where the G note is. And our chord is major, so we're going to apply our major chord fingering. And now we have our G major chord. Finally, I want to finish up with the A minor chord, which is the 6th chord. So we're currently at G major. Our root note is on the 12th fret of the G string. So we just need to move that up a whole step from the 12th fret up to the 14th fret. And we have the A root note. And our chord is minor, so we're just going to apply our minor chord fingering. Now we just want to find ways to sort of work with this, to sort of get good at switching between these major and minor chords, and also recognizing the root notes and getting quicker at finding the chords. So we're just going to apply the same strategies that I've recommended in other lessons. Essentially, play it the 2 ways that we've just played it. Start down here with the A minor chord and play through until we get to the A minor chord up at the 14th fret. Again, skipping over the B note. So you're going to have to know the jump from the A root note at the 2nd fret up to the C root note at the 5th fret. And then, of course, we want to be able to play this in reverse order. So we want to be able to start with our A minor chord where our root note is on the 14th fret of the G string, and sort of work our way back down through the sequence till we come back to the A. And we want to do the same thing with the other way that we did it. And that was starting with the C major chord, working our way up to the A minor, and then working our way back to the C, because it's important to be able to play these in ascending order with the notes, the root notes getting higher, and also to play them in descending order. We want to be equally good with both. So all I have to say is, put in your time, put in your work, and I hope to see you back for the next series of lessons where we're going to start really learning how to work with all the stuff that we've learned. Peace.